Thank you, Kate. I knew it would come in useful being a loudmouth one day. Not only am I competing with the air conditioning, I'm competing with the greenery, but it does mean that people at the back have to really pay attention, but I will have to apologise to the people at the front who are going to have tinnitus in 2 minutes' time. Business with a purpose, reducing economic inequality, improving social justice and environmental sustainability. These are the voyages of a social enterprise, a continuing mission to boldly go where no one has gone before. And the good news is you don't have to go into space to make a difference. You don't even need to be a fan of Star Trek, although if you are, I will like that. Because in the North of Tyne, we're all about being bold. Breaking from business as usual so we can tackle the interconnected problems, the cost of living crisis, the climate emergency, an unbalanced economy that rewards asset holders more than it rewards hard work. I'm the mayor of the North of Tyne Combined Authority. What's a combined authority? We don't look after kids in care, we don't empty the bins, we don't fix the potholes. We're about investment. We're about growing the economy. But it's a democratically, politically led organisation because we have a choice about how we grow our economy. Too often, GDP is pursued as the measure of all good. And we hear that all the time from Westminster across the board. We're going to grow, we're going to grow, we're going to grow. But growth in whose interests? Do we really need to see more multi-million-pound flats when we have a housing crisis? Do we really need to see massive asset prices when we have working people using food banks? Our record at the North of Tyne created 5,377 jobs against a target of 10,000 over 30 years. We've done that in 4 years, more than a decade ahead of schedule. I've brought big companies here, but made sure that they're delivering good work according to our Good Work Pledge, which requires employers to pay the real living wage, to provide skills training, to build a diverse workforce. We've got hold of the adult education budget so we can skill people up. And we've increased enrolments from 22,000 to 35,000 a year and increased the diversity as we go. 57% are women, who are the ones who suffer most from low-paid work. 45% are non-white. 21% self-identify as disabled or neurodiverse. This is all about diversity. A lot of people talk about it, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We've done it. And in terms of the environmental agenda, well, we're running things right across schools in terms of training, businesses, funding businesses develop new products and services, and invest 25 million in offshore wind. And while Westminster continues to punish parents who have more than 2 children and their siblings by keeping the child benefit cap, we're tackling child poverty in 98 schools directly, poverty-proofing the school day. Inclusive economy is in our DNA. That was a load of stats. Let me tell you about a young lady called Hannah. Hannah, when I met her, she said, I'm autistic. She said, I had a job, but my line manager changed, and my line manager couldn't cope with me and said, why can't you be more like other people, Hannah? And Hannah said, because I'm autistic. And Hannah lost her job. We fund, commissioned, designed and funded, co-designed and funded, a whole range of outreach programs. And Hannah got support through one of these. Hannah has a superpower that I don't have. She can process information wonderfully. You know automatic number plate recognition systems? Where the computer can't do it, she can type away all day long. My brain would melt after 10 minutes of that. But she's good at this. And she's got a job doing it. And because of the continuing mentoring, they spoke to her employer and said, can you redesign your Employee of the Month competition so that Hannah can fit into it? She's won Employee of the Month. She feels good about herself. She's earning good money. She's paying tax. This is in everyone's interest, including Treasury, to make sure that everybody is able to participate as equals in our economy. We've done all right, but we're not finished yet. Because from next May, and I've spent 4 years negotiating this with central government, we're expanding beyond the north of Tyne, bringing in the south of Tyne, Gateshead, South Tyneside, Sunderland and County Durham into the best funded devolution deal in England. And I want to do even more. And crucially, we're going to get control of the transport system. And I want to co-design this and bring in social enterprises, particularly in the form of car clubs, bike hire and other things like that. I appreciate running a train system is unlikely to be a social enterprise, but maybe it should be publicly owned. Well, let me tell you about a couple of the stories. Big River Bakery, which actually I took Aditya Chakrabarty, the Guardian journalist, to visit in June. It's a commercial bakery and a shop and a cafe and a training space as well. We've helped them through our Hospitality, Innovation and Tourism programme, which is run by Food and Drink North East, itself a social enterprise. They got £40,000 for a feasibility study and business case development for a food training academy. £12,000 through Crowdfund North of Tyne to fund a programme called The Power of the Stotty, which is breakfast bags for children experiencing food poverty and family baking sessions. We can tackle destitution and preserve people's dignity at the same time. This is about changing our economy, but also investing in local firms, charities and social enterprises. Because it's about the social impact. And when we close that route, we realise this is good for our economy, not to leave people struggling. Communities Can, which is a community housing organisation, particularly across Northumberland. They've got a £137,000 business case development fund money from us to identify and deliver 3 community-led housing schemes on brownfield sites in Newcastle, North Tyneside and Northumberland, enabling more affordable housing to be built and developed with local communities. Or the £40,000 from our Community Hubs Investment Fund, which has gone to the Linskill Centre in North Shields, who run 60 weekly activities for people from arts, crafts, relaxation, but also language and education classes. Our monies help them upgrade their space so they can host weddings and events and trade to bring in income to fund their social activities. Or Recycle Your Bike in Byker, which takes people's old bikes, fixes them up, and then sells them, but also does it with a social basis so that refugee families, for example, can actually have a fighting chance at some transport. And you know what? You can lose a bit of weight in the process as well. So we run social value, embed social value in everything we do. And a lot of these programs that we do, we prioritize socially trading organizations. Because most people want to work. And if everyone has a secure job and can pay their bills with enough left over for a holiday and some savings, half our other problems would evaporate. And it would take the load off our other services, of our NHS, off our criminal justice system. People with financial security live longer, healthier, more productive lives. Educational attainment rises and crime falls. And if we can get people a good job with a social purpose, that's even better. It's also what the workforce wants, by the way. According to PricewaterhouseCoopers, not a social enterprise, 88% of millennials, that's people who are a little bit younger than me, they want to work for an employer who reflects their own values. And according to Prospects, the experts in graduate careers, 91% of graduates want to make a difference in their job. So it's our job, everyone in this room, to make sure there are employment opportunities here in the North East that enable people to make a difference. Now, I've talked about some examples of social enterprises, but the truth is the sector is too small. We need to grow it. We need to think about the definition of social enterprises, which is quite ambiguous. Much in the same way as we think about the climate emergency. We have Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 emissions. A large number of limited companies are actually trading as social enterprises, even though they may not fit any established definition. A lot of small businesses, a lot of micro businesses are social enterprises, trading with really good values. So we have lots of different funds already, and we're funding social enterprises through them. But because we can do more, we're launching a £4 million social finance fund, specifically for socially trading organisations such as co-ops and charities, to make investment capital directly available so that these businesses can start up, scale up and grow. And we're co-designing the social finance fund with organisations like yours. We're talking to investors. We're aiming to have it ready for access from spring next year. So if you have a good idea that will make a difference to people's lives, don't sit on it. Boldly go. Make it so. And remember, shy Ben's getting out. Thank you.